The Roses is not only the best rom-com of the year, it's also one of the better comedies that we have gotten in a while, so let's talk about why this movie is so good. But as always, before we get started, if you're new here, my name is Aaron and I talk all things movies and TV, but really mostly movies, so if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, and while you're at it, if you like my videos, hit that like button as well. And of course, if you've already seen the movie, let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, but without further ado, let's talk about The Roses. So in this movie, we follow a couple named Theo and Ivy, played by Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, and when Theo's career goes downhill and Ivy's takes off, the two switch roles in their family and their marriage slowly gets worse and worse as resentment grows between the two. Jumping right into the good, and the first thing I have here is easily Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. Now for me, this is the best version of Cumberbatch and Colman I have ever seen on screen. Their chemistry is just off the charts in this movie, and they are the best part about this thing. The dialogue between the two was quick, witty, and just downright hilarious at times, and really across the board, the dialogue in this movie was really good. It was focused, tight, and just really smooth overall, and is one of the reasons why this movie is so good. But when Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman are on screen together, which is honestly most of this movie, that dialogue between the two just seems so effortless. We see these two people who have been together for a long time slowly grow this quiet resentment for each other until it all explodes in their face. One of the best things about each of their performances, though, is that behind all of the humor and the witty banter, they were able to show that quiet resentment building within each of them throughout the movie. For Theo, it was that feeling of him feeling underappreciated for everything he does, like raising the kids, and also it was his jealousy of Ivy's success. And for Ivy, it was that feeling of missing out on her kids growing up, and also her need for public adoration through the success of her restaurant. Again, these two, just with every aspect of their performance, made everything seem so effortless and smooth, and they really made you feel the resentment and uneasiness in their relationship through the screen. I'm really trying my best to put into words how awesome these two were in this movie, because they were just that amazing in this thing, and if you go see this movie, you should go see it for those two in particular. But on top of that, I think they also had a great supporting cast that only added to everything that they were already doing. Standouts were obviously Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon, but I also really liked Nishuti Gatwa, who played Jeffrey, who was an employee at Ivy's restaurant. He was just one of those characters who had a bunch of side commentary and would make little facial expressions here and there in response to what was happening on screen, and I just thought that was really funny. So big shout out to this entire cast, but especially Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. And next up for the good is the humor. This is probably one of the funnier movies I've seen all year, and really in a while. It's a mix of dark and witty humor, and it has that British charm to it, which I really enjoyed. As much humor as there was in this movie, it never felt like it overshadowed the more serious and drama-filled moments of this thing, so overall this was just a very well-balanced movie tonally. As I said before, the banter between Cumberbatch and Colman will give us plenty of laughs, but man, Kate McKinnon is hilarious in this thing. She is one of those actors that is really funny, but if you overuse her, it can become too much, and this movie just rode that line perfectly. And I don't know how they did it, but everything that Kate McKinnon said in this movie was hilarious to me. She was one of those people that just stole every scene that she was in, because she was always saying something outlandish and just absolutely crazy. Then we have Andy Samberg, who of course provided plenty of laughs as well, but overall this humor just worked so well and I enjoyed a lot of it. Moving on to the so-so, and the only thing I have here is something that I didn't mind, but I could see someone feeling a certain way about it, and that is that the third act does move pretty quickly compared to the rest of the movie. So once we get to that point where things finally boil over with Theo and Ivy, all of the events following that, outside of maybe one scene, I would say, do happen very quickly. It did feel like they kind of montaged their way through that third act until we got to that final sequence, and I will say once we did finally get to the end of this movie, I did think the ending was pretty clever, but there was also a part of me that felt like they hit that super speed button for that third act compared to the rest of the movie. And finally, getting into the bad, and this is probably just a nitpick on my end, but this is one of those cases where the problems that Theo and Ivy were having could have been solved with just a simple conversation. At different moments in this movie, they did have some of those conversations where they almost got to a solution, but then they would end that conversation with some type of joke or witty banter. Now, I do get that if those conversations would have went on, then we simply just wouldn't have had a movie, but there was also a part of me that was like, guys, we can solve all this with one conversation, which is kind of ironic considering the way this movie ended. So for my final thoughts, I am a big fan of this movie. Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman have never been better. The supporting cast only adds to that to help make this one of the funniest movies of the year, and along with that, they were able to have some real meaningful emotional moments. This movie is a breath of fresh air in the rom-com genre and is a must-see from me. So on my tier list, this will go in the upper part of good, almost great for me. Those are my thoughts on The Roses. Be sure to let me know what you thought of the movie down in the comments, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, get your Eazy Apparel at shopeasyapparel.com. God bless, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.